fact, she certified herself as a Lamaze trainer, as a childbirth educator, as a lactation consultant. And she happened to be the youngest Lamaze trainer at that point of time, at the age of 18. So there we had one expertise, and I was into wellness and fitness for women. And my sister, Suma, the third co-founder, she has been in healthcare industry in India and Australia for last 20 years. She is an audiologist and a speech pathologist. So, and she works a lot with babies, infant development care, and infant development milestones. So here were three women, all expert in all domain expert in their respective fields. And when she came back from UK, she said, "This is what I want to do. Are you guys going to join me or not?" And then that's how the whole idea came up, and we all decided, why not? We all shared the same passion. And I was working for so many years. My sister was working for so many years, 20 years. She left her job and she joined us in India, and I was there, and my daughter Anjali. So that is how I Love 9 Months was born. And but that day we realized, when it's all started off, that technology is the only thing that's going to take us forward. And from a brick and mortar model, which was called Arman, I Love 9 Months was born, and the I Love 9 Months mobile app was born. So we decided to go digital, and that was the first beginning of I Love 9 Months, creating a team. Now the team was ready, the idea was ready, the initial funds. Then it was how to take this forward. So since it was a family, so we initially, all the co-founders, we put in money and small funds, and we started off. But as you all know, you might have a brilliant idea, you have a team, but then to go forward, you need funds. And that is where we started approaching our family, extended family, and friends, because your close friends know you, they know the passion that you have, and they trust you. And that's the best way to go. First, you approach your family, extended family, and friends whom you know very well. Tell them about your passion, tell them about what you want to do. And then that's how we kind of, gathered initial funds to kickstart. As we started off, we realized that all three of us were domain experts, but there was nobody with technology background in our team. So, and also with limited funds, we realized that we cannot hire a full-fledged tech team in our organization. So what we did was we started collaborating. So we outsourced our tech partner, we outsource our social media, we outsource our legal and compliances, because these were not our core area. And we didn't want to get into something that's not our core and spend time and effort and money onto it. So we decided to collaborate, and then we went on a retainership basis, which helped us so that we could save funds to go forward with our product and services. Very important thing as we started off was we used to attend every event. Believe me, any event that came up with a startup in the startup ecosystem, we were a part of it. I still remember we went and pitched in We Connect. There was an event called We Connect, when I didn't even have a presentation. I remember standing there and just using a mic, I introduced my product and what I'm going to do. And that time, we were nowhere in the competition, but that day, the friends I made and the connections I made, let me tell you, even today, they are there to help me out. So as a team, we started attending all the events. Somewhere I would go, somewhere Suma would make it, somewhere Anjali would make it, or if possible, all three of us would make it. It was so very important to attend these events because every event had something to take off from. So we met a lot of people. We kept pitching. We kept pitching, even though we knew that we were not investor ready. But how did that pitching help? Pitching, to start with, it helped us to stand in front of people and talk about your idea. It's so important. You might have the best idea with you, but if you cannot stand in front of few people, the concerned, the relevant people, and if you cannot convince them, or if you cannot tell them, explain to them what you're doing, your idea is nothing. It just goes waste. So we used to just go pitching. It was like pitching in every event. So all these events helped us, and that's how we got into ISB Accelerator program in Hyderabad. We got selected for incubation in T Hub, and finally we got incubated in Kerala Startup Mission. And I think all these places, ISB, T Hub, and today Kerala Startup Mission, have played such an important role in I Love 9 Months where we stand today. So, though everything was in place, we did a lot of blunders and mistakes. And I think that's a part of any startup journey. The blunders, for example, let me just give you one of them. Like when we started the mobile application, we had subscription. And believe me, it doesn't work. For us, it was we have an idea, we have a product, the money should come in immediately. Startup doesn't work like that. So when you have an application, how many people are actually using your app? How many people are coming into your app? How many people and what is the amount of time they're spending in your app? What is the engagement level? How many number of people are there? All this matters in a startup journey. It doesn't matter. The money will come, but it's not a business where you need to make money from tomorrow. So that was one of the greatest blunders that we did when we started off. But our sessions at ISB, T Hub, and Kerala Startup Mission, the idea got iterated again and again, and we pivoted. And these are the places that helped us to come out with the final business plan. And I feel so happy to tell you, we are so fortunate that today we have been funded by a US based VC fund. And this happened because of our exposure that we got in ISB, T Hub, and Kerala Startup Mission. So it's so important that when you have an idea, you develop that idea, you create a team, you find funds to start up with, but please understand you need help. Please seek help. There are a lot of options available out there. Start talking to people about your idea. Talk to as many people as much you can. Talk to people, get your idea validated, and then you need help, and that is when you attend events, and then you get into places like ISB, T Hub, Kerala Startup Mission, and places like this where they mold you they refine your business plan, they mold you as an individual, and then there it stands a solid entrepreneur at the end of all this. So today we are very fortunate. Kerala's eating event, we got funded by a US based venture. But during all this journey, there are a lot of learnings. Believe me, there are a lot of learnings. Something I would like to share with all of you. When you are a domain expert, like all three women, all of us are domain expert, very strong subject matter expertise with us. We have something in mind, and the consumer needs something. But you're so hung up with your subject, with what you believe in, you really miss out sometimes what the end customer actually wants. So sharper the ear to the ground and willingness to change. If you don't have this, you fail. And I think somewhere with us as domain experts, I have to admit that we went through this, and it took us some time for us to accept that what we wanted to do and what the customer wanted was different. And believe me, we lost about 6 months to 1 year of time in all this. So that's a long time to lose when you're on a startup journey. Number two, let me tell you, laser focus on one thing you do. Even if it means you're sweeping one side of the road, better it be the best swept road in the world. You get my point? You don't put your feet into too many things. You concentrate on one thing and you try to make that perfect. So laser focus is one of the things that we really learned during this journey. It was a big learning. It took us some time, but finally we were there. Third, if you ask me, don't copy, innovate. When I'm giving you all examples from our own, real life experience. Like when we started off the mobile application, we were looking into a lot of applications that were there across the world, and everywhere it was all about health trackers for pregnant moms, for new mothers. We also followed suit. We said, yes, we need to have health trackers. We need to have health trackers for pregnant mom, new mothers, for baby, child developmental milestones, immunization, all trackers. But we forgot that first we are going to concentrate on India, and in India, community comes first. We realize that people like to be a part of the group, peer to peer, with experts, a community group, and then they would like to try out hands on trackers and tracking various milestones. So that was one of the things that we missed out in the beginning. And as soon as we learned that, we pivoted, and today we have both. We have a huge community of pregnant moms and new mothers. At the same time, we have all the health trackers in our application, and here we are successful today. So it's so important that you don't just look at the wider picture. You just look at it and decide, oh, this is what works, so let me also do it, but do it in a much better way. No, don't always copy. Try and innovate something according to what the market needs. Now, uh, another very important thing, market validation. Now, you would have created the best product, but have you actually tested the market? Have you actually spoken to the consumers? Have you actually found out what the customer needs? Again, here, let me give our example. Um, I'm able to talk like this today because all this were our practical learnings in the journey of I Love 9 months. So in Trivandrum, um, when we started Sahodri, or the home care services, we started with 5 Sahodris, believe me, with 5 Sahodris. And very soon we realized that Trivandrum was still not ready for something like this. So ideally, we should have just trained one Sahodri, tested the market. We should have put her there and tested the market. We should have spoken to the consumers. We should have figured it out what actually the mothers need. And then, as and when we realized, we could have trained more people and we could have put 3, 4, 5 Sahodris. So we straight away went and put 5 Sahodris, and you can imagine as a startup, the amount of money we burnt in the first year because Trivandrum was still not ready. And our biggest mistake was we didn't test the waters before we started. Today, when we have 5 Sahodris, we are short of people because we have that many leads in Trivandrum now. So if we would have started with one, and as and when we saw that market was picking up, we should have trained more and more people. So the biggest learning, one of the biggest learning is market validation. Anything you create, please make sure you test the waters, you test the market, speak to the consumers, validate that your product is required. Any big idea can fail if the market doesn't need it. It's very, very important. Uh, I think one more very important learning, what I would say is that any business you start, any startup, any service, anything you start, it has to have technology. Technology is the only way forward, believe me. For example, today a maternity home care service or maternity organization like ours, we provide 360-degree support. But we have 4 mobile apps. We have a huge console which is all interlinked, where it is all interlinked, and we have curated content. We have we have an entire technology there, right there in front of us. So tomorrow there might be someone who would a new player who would come into the same space like ours, but believe me, it's going to take time for them. It's going to take time for them to develop the kind of technology what we have today. So by the time they are there, we are already much ahead of the curve. Today, when we started training for this caregivers. It used to be a 45 days training program, and uh, we brought it down to 15 days, and now we are trying to bring it down to a week. So we are bringing in AR and VR into training program. So there's so much of technology that we are trying to bring in. So anything that you do, you want to scale, you want to grow rapidly, technology has to be there. I mean, you all can see today under these circumstances of where we are today with COVID and with all the lockdown and all that, technology is what is helping all these startups. If you don't have technology, you are dead. So please remember, any idea, anything you create, please make sure technology, you should have technology driving it. Then only you can be successful. That's something very, very important takeaway. So this was in brief my introduction and my learnings in during the journey of I Love 9 months. To summarize it, um, let me say that it has been a highly adventurous journey for us. Um, you really don't know when you get up in the morning how the day is going to shape up for you. What are the issues and challenges for that day? Adrenaline is high, and on some days it's so boring because you have the same task to do. Believe me, you are doing the same task again and again, and it could be a routine. But you have a purpose at the end of it. When you think about it, you're there because of a purpose, and that is what drives you. Sacrifice on family, friends, social time heavily takes a toll on you. Believe me, startup is a very lonely journey. All of you need to understand that it's a very lonely journey, but entrepreneurs are dream catchers. That's the beauty of it. For us, we have lived away from family in past three for myself. I can just give you my example. I have been away from my me and my husband have been staying in different cities in the last 3 years. From the time we started this, we meet once in 3 or 4 months, and believe me, sometimes it is in the same airport. I'm in the arrival and he's in the departure. So that's the kind of sacrifice you make when you get into entrepreneurship. But remember the clarity, remember the purpose why you're there, remember the dream that you're chasing. You'll be able to do all that. With friends, yes, I've lost a lot of friends on the way. Because sometimes you don't message them, you don't call them, you don't join them for drinks and dinner. You're not picking up their calls at times. Be prepared for all those kind of things, but don't lose sight of the greater picture of the dream that you're carrying. And because of all the mistakes and the blunders that we created, the learnings that we got over a period of time from and the knowledge from people and from the ecosystem like Kerala Startup Mission, it has helped us grow to be phenomenal individuals. Uh, Believe me, when I started off, I didn't know how to look at a financial statement or a P&L or valuation of a company or EBITDA or things like that. I mean, I didn't know any of these. But today, if somebody talks to me, I understand and I pitch on financials. So that is the kind of transformation it can bring as on your personal growth level. But I'm saying you become phenomenal individuals. You would be proud of what you are because of where you are. Uh, but trust me, it's very tough on mind and body. But in spite of all, I think this is one of the most satisfying journey for me, because I believe entrepreneurs are built to last. We are a different breed. Uh, We dream and we catch them and we make it a reality. So have your purpose and have that clarity in your mind, and you'll be able to do it. And you're all so young. They're young minds sitting. I know those who are hearing me are all very young. You have long time in front of you. The world, every other day there's something coming up. There's so many issues, there's so many problems to solve, and the world is looking at you guys. I mean, each one of you who's listening to me has some idea already in your mind. I'm sure everybody is already has something in your mind. uh, but remember, if you have an idea, come out, seek help. There are a lot of avenues for women entrepreneurs nowadays. Kerala Startup Mission itself is one of the best places where you should go first. I think they have helped us so much in terms of mentorship, in terms of connecting to funding agencies, in terms of technology, in terms of legal and compliance. Any help you need, you have to just ask them. So I wouldn't say that it's anything different for a man and a woman, because when you go and pitch, once we had a pitching session, once we went to pitch, and I still remember this investor told, she made it very clear, I don't look below the belt when somebody is pitching. So, so when you are there, it's not about a woman or a man, it's what you've created, what you're going to create, what you have innovated. So there are a lot of avenues for you to seek help. Go out, talk to people, get help, and I'm sure you will find a way out to do what you want to. And remember one thing, fail fast. If you feel that your idea is not, you need to fail fast, get up fast, and move. uh, so that is one thing that you need to keep in mind. So the more you are in the ecosystem with like-minded people, the more help you get, and the more easy it gets uh, to actually come out with a product that really is required at this point in time. So I'm sure all of you have already want to do something. You have something in mind, and all the best to all of you sitting over there. And I hope you create and innovate. Um, I'm open for any questions you have.
Uh, so,
Hello,
can you hear
hello.
me?
Yeah, yes, Razik, I can hear you.
Okay, you can click on that Q&A tab on the left side. There is a
Yeah.
question. Hi, Ganga. Thank you for sharing your experience. I would like to know how long did it take for you from idea conception to reach a positive phase or positive customer feedback or getting ROI in your business?
This question has been sent by
Tony.
Tony. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Tony. Very good question. Like I said, since I Love 9 months has to do with maternity, has to do with pregnancy and post pregnancy, it took us almost 1 year to actually get the product right, because we had to do a lot of validation from the medical fraternity. We had to get it validated by the doctors, the content, everything that went into the app. So for us, the research and validation took us almost 1 year. But but if you're looking at when we started making the revenues coming in, it was only last year. So it took us almost 2.5 years. Yes.
So, ma'am, collaborations work.
Uh, Next one is. My question is, even though we use technology and we understand the market, there's a need of a good team like you had, who supports you and stand with you. How to build one if you don't have such a team? A brilliant question again. This has been asked by Anand. Anand, we were lucky that it was I would say it's lucky it's a family, but even family, if it's a family or not a family, it has got advantages and disadvantages. But in a family, what happens is, how much ever screaming, shouting and everything happens, at the end of the day, it's a family. You know each other well. You know each other's strength and weakness. You know how different people in the family work. You know their temperament, so it's little more easy for you to get back. Now, when you're not a family and when you are having co-founders, different people coming together, I agree with you, it's very difficult, because I have seen people moving out or falling apart because they can't take the pressure going back to work and the startup actually shutting off. Anand, let me tell you, when you look for a co-founder, please look for someone who is as passionate as you are and who understands what he's getting into. He has to share the same passion like you do. He has to understand it's a long haul. Easy willing to put in that time and effort. It's not like a job that at the end of the month you will receive a check. He has to be prepared for that. That months would go without, you know, having a salary check coming to you. So has to be, first he has to share the same passion, he should understand what you're doing, and he should be able to put in the same kind of time and energy and effort that you are willing to put in. We were lucky to be a family, and we survived. Even in family, yeah, people can move out, but luckily, Anand, we have survived. So team is one of the crucial. In fact, when we pitch, uh, some of the investors made it very clear. We look at the idea later. We look at the time first, the team first. So they would want to know who's leading, who is driving this business, and then if they're convinced that the team is good, and then they feel that okay, with support from their side, this business can be a successful one. So very very important to have a team, and sometimes it's a gamble, but then yeah, it is very important to have a good team. And remember, passion, time, effort, sacrifice, somebody who's willing to do that, and it's stick to you through thick and thin. That's that's
Ganga,
all I can say.
one
Yeah.
participant.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah, there's another one. Mary.
no,
Uh,
one
yeah,
participant would like to ask the question live. I'll allow
yeah,
her to talk.
yeah. Please, please.
It's Mary Leah CA.
Yeah,
Mary, I enabled you to speak. Could you please ask the question? Hello.
yeah. Mary, can you ask the question?
I think there is a delay in the connection. You can continue with the Q&A.
Yeah.
Uh,
The next one is, as a woman entrepreneur, what is the main problem faced by you? Um, and like I said, the man and the woman goes through the same problems when you are an entrepreneur. A woman a little, maybe on the personal front, yes, if you have children, if you have a home to look after, then i can say that on the personal front it is more difficult for a woman. But as an entrepreneur, as you walk out of that personal front, and when you're out in the startup ecosystem, believe me, you don't face much of a problem. It is the same as any man would face when he's as an entrepreneur. And I don't think we should even look at it as a man and a woman. You are out there with your idea. If the idea is good, if it makes sense, you would be supported in all the ways. So I personally, I don't think I've faced any problems as a woman entrepreneur in the ecosystem as such. Personal front, yes, everybody has their own. You face those problems, which is common to every woman. But otherwise, no, I don't think we faced any problems as a woman entrepreneur in the ecosystem as such. You would be very comfortable, Mary, believe me.
So, Ganga, are you saying that you are the only person? I mean, you in the sense, the individual is the only person who is stopping himself or herself from being an entrepreneur. Is that so?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it totally depends on you. Once you decide, there is help out there. That's what I'm saying. You need to make a choice to be an entrepreneur, and rest will be taken care. That's for sure. You have to make a choice. It lies with the person. Yes. The next question is Imaria, if I'm right. Ma'am, how do you convince your customers while pitching? Wow, interesting questions. How do you convince your customers? Imaria, if you know what you're doing, if you're very clear about your product and services, I don't think you go extra mile to convince anybody. If you have the clarity of what you're doing, and if you're able to tell them, I don't think you need anything more. But make sure, like I said, you need to keep in mind market validation. The product is required at this point in time. That is what the consumer wants. If all those points are in place, I don't think you need much of a convincing there when you're pitching. Just go and pitch confidently on what you're doing and how it's going to make a difference. That is what is more important. um, Nimmi Jacob, how did you manage to balance business and family? Like I said, a lot of sacrifice has gone into the into this in last 3 years. Like I said, staying apart from family, family displaced, but we all have a common dream, and that is what has kept us together, the family together. And I've been able to balance business and family because my husband is also a part of this. He looks into sales, marketing, strategy, investment funds, and things like that. So the entire family is into it, and as a family, um, we are very clear about what we are chasing, what is our dream, and where we want to be. So that has helped me manage my business and family. But let me tell you, it's not as easy as it sounds. We have had tough times because it's very difficult to keep personal and business separate, personal front and professional separate, especially when you are a husband, wife, and when you're a family. So it's not that you step out of the conference room and then you are like, oh, we are going home. And the moment you get into the conference room, you are like, okay, Raj, so what is the next thing what we are planning to? It doesn't work like that, believe me. But if you have the greater dream very clear and what you're working towards, I think you'll be able to manage business and family together. Um, yeah. Elizabeth, how was you able to express ideas better? Like I said, Elizabeth, you should be very clear about your idea, what you're trying to say. And if you have clarity in your mind, I don't think it's difficult to express your ideas better. But also remember, when it comes to pitching, you cannot, pitching is an art. We've learned over a period. I think I'm still learning, believe me. Even now when I pitch, I'm still learning in every pitching session, because you need to express your idea. In some places you get 5 minutes to express, some places it's 3 minutes, and some places 1 minute. So you have to come out with that few lines, such strong lines, to express your idea. That is the secret of a good pitch. If you can say that in 3 lines, you're done. So that is why I said, Elizabeth, you have to be very clear about your idea. You should know what you're going to do. And if that clarity is there, it becomes easy, but it comes with practice. Believe me, even today, we are still learning how to pitch, though we have pitched for last 3 years, but every pitching session is an experience by itself. Uh, this is Ria. Ma'am, when we raise our ideas, people hesitate to hear it, and that's a heartbreaking time. How do you overcome this? How did you? Uh, Ria, it also depends who are you raising your ideas to, where you have raised your ideas. Have you raised it at the right platform? Have you met the right kind of people? I mean, I'm not sure where you have tried, but heartbreaking, believe me, is in a startup journey there will be a lot of heartbreaks. You should be ready for that. I mean, like I said, after 3 years of pitching, this year we got our funding. So you can imagine the number of pitching sessions we have done, and every time you're rejected, it's a heartbreak. But that's not how startup works. You have to just get up and pitch in the next session. So your idea, maybe one person didn't like it, or maybe you raised this idea to a wrong person. It could be either of them. But don't give it up. uh, Keep trying. There'll be somebody who would who would be the right person to hear us. So that's why I can't comment much on this, because I don't know where you've raised your idea, and it has it has been rejected. So I think you need to approach the right system and the right kind of people for this. Ma'am, what are the struggles faced by a woman entrepreneur? Like I said earlier, on the professional front, nothing much. It's the same. You have all the opportunities. You have a lot of now the government, especially the government, has come out with a lot of schemes for women entrepreneurs, and it's all been implemented. I think there's one. I mean, right now, I mean, with Razik, or you must be knowing all these people in Kerala Startup Mission. Approach Kerala Startup Mission. That's the best place to start off. So there's a lot of help. All that you need is you need to decide and step out, and seek help. Ma'am, as a first step towards your idea, what did you do? Like I said, the idea was there, and we definitely made blunders, mistakes. I'm sure you would have got it when I was speaking about how we overcame those blunders and mistakes. So, first thing, the team. Once you have an idea, it's a team. And I just answered another question. So, a great team, how important it is to have a great team. And how did you get this idea? As I said, all of us were subject matter experts, myself, Suma, and Anjali, and we decided to come together. And we wanted to do something for pregnant moms and new mothers. And we realized that what we wanted to do was available only for a niche society, and we wanted to take it to all the women. So whether she's in a tier one, tier two, or tier three city, so we wanted more and more women make use of it, and that's how uh, you know we decided to go digital and rest, like what I said. How well does collaborations work? If it is about the collaborations, like I spoke about, it was in the beginning to outsource our tech partner and social media. It was to manage our funds because we didn't have too much of funds with us. So that is the reason why we collaborated and we outsourced our technology partner and social media. Once you're in a startup, once you're set, and then collaborations help you to scale. With if you find synergy with another startup which is in the same area, and it makes sense to collaborate with them, and then growing becomes much more easier. Scaling becomes easier. um,
Ganga, I
Kavya,
would like
yeah,
Ganga Shalini here again. I would like to ask
yes,
you one thing.
yeah,
Again,
sure,
see, there are women out there with dreams. So everybody
yeah,
have dream, and you also had the dream, and you didn't realize until your
yes,
daughter came forward with her project, and you collaborated and helped her with all these things. My
yes,
question is, even before these networking collaborations, the business being stable, money pumping in, that means um, um, the whole profit and all those things, even before that, how did
yes.
you realize, or when did you realize that this is it, the business or entrepreneurship is it, is, I mean, this is my path? So that kind of feeling you get. See, everybody dream, everybody has this thing in their mind, but then you took a step further, or there
Yes.
are people who are actually standing there for somebody to push them, or just uh, taking the next step. So, what is
Right.
that core thing that shook you up to start a business?
See, for me personally, Shalini, if you ask me, it was a purpose. Okay, it was a purpose that drove me. I already had a studio where I said I was working with a lot of women, but I was always looking to reach more and more women. But then, like you said, I was on the edge. I
Mm-hmm.
was right there, but didn't know how to start off. And then my daughter came in. But I had that purpose very clear in mind. So for me, it was my daughter who pushed and who came forward, and that purpose became even more. It became practical. But the youngsters sitting over there, I think if you have a clarity, I don't think anything should stop you from just going ahead and doing it. If you have that purpose in mind, this is what I want to do. The most important thing is purpose. Why do you want to do? Do you have a purpose why you want to be there? If you have that chalni, I think nothing can stop anyone from going ahead and becoming an entrepreneur. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, Ma'am, when you have a unique idea, then how do you manage to go ahead while you have no significant base on how to progress or not sure if your idea would be fruitful, successful? Please get in touch with Kerala Startup Mission. They have excellent mentors, excellent advisors. Go ahead and talk to them, present your idea, and they will guide you. That is why I said attend as many events as possible, speak to people and speak to the right kind of people. And I think in Kerala Startup Mission is doing a great job, so you don't have to search any further. You can just get in touch with them. Do you think age is a barrier to achieving your dreams? It is normally said it's not, but there are people I know who says it is not true in reality. Um, who's this question? Anthony Savio. Anthony, age is definitely not a barrier. I would say it's definitely not a barrier to achieving your dreams. Yes. Any question?
There are some people who raise their hands.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Please ask them to.
I can see uh, Jomol is there, and I'm trying to connect to her.
Yeah. So let me just finish. Anthony, I don't think age is a barrier. We all started pretty late, and I'm so happy that I'm right there in midst, and I'm always surrounded by young minds, and I'm so happy that I've walked into this, even though I came in pretty late into this. So age is definitely not a barrier. Please don't believe that age is a barrier. No, age is definitely not a barrier. But do you have the passion, energy to do it? Just go ahead. Have you ever felt a discrimination by third party between a male and never? Afrin Shah, never ever. We were treated as equal at par with a male entrepreneur. There was absolutely no discrimination at all in these 3 years. I can say that very confidently. What was the biggest difficulty faced during this business journey? A lot of difficulties, like I had mentioned, there are struggles, but then one of the thing was to raise funds, but I think that also comes like Kerala Startup Mission helped us. They connected us to the right kind of people, and funding also happened. Um I don't think we faced any other major difficulty during our business journey. Where did we seek help for startup procedures? Absolutely, Kerala Startup Mission. When you started your journey, did you ever get an idea which you thought was too crazy or an idea that no one would believe in? Wonderful question. This has been asked by Krishna Kona. Um, uh, See, when we started this birth companion services, this is something that doesn't exist in India at all. When we started training our birth companions, at the same time when the union government also legalized birth companion in the hospitals, in government hospitals. But the condition was any woman who had a baby can become a birth companion. But we thought that it needs to be more than that. It has to be a trained and skilled person who would become a birth companion. So we brought in skilled and trained birth companion, which is very, very new to India. Even today, we don't have trained and skilled birth companions that I Love 9 Months has, like what we do. We call them Sahodari. So it was very difficult for us because it sounded like, really, are you going to have personal birth companions helping women during labor? This happens only abroad where a midwife does it or a doula does it. I myself, I'm a trained doula, but I have not been able to do it here in India. But abroad, doula is very common. So this is an idea which was not acceptable to everyone, and it was difficult initially to convince or to convince that there is a business around this idea. So you might get an idea which is crazy, which no one would believe in the beginning, but if you can prove it, like today we've got funded, we're going international. We already have a JV with a Bahrain home health company where we are going to start very soon after once this COVID thing is over. So it might sound crazy, it might take time, but then if you really believe in it and it's going to make a difference, it's going to work. So we definitely Sahodri services was a crazy idea and was a bit difficult for us to convince at the beginning. Yes. How did you find the right team and how are you keeping them with you even in tough times? Ajay, it is a family, and I think I'm lucky that way. We are all family and we have managed to stay together during thick and thin. And yes, but like I said, if you're not a family and if you're people from different backgrounds, you need to keep yourself motivated at all times. It depends, and the founder, there would be one person in the team who will have to keep everyone together, who will have to motivate the team right day in day out, because every day can be a struggle at times. Every day can be adventurous. Every day can be a fight against time. So I think you have to keep yourself motivated, look at the bigger dream, and that's how you take your team with you. How to overcome the risk. Overcome the risk is a relative word. I don't know how what risk we are talking about here. A startup itself is a big risk game. So when you walk into it, you know you're taking a big risk. So I don't think I have a one line or a one sentence to answer for this, how to overcome the risk. uh, you just have to go up there, fight it out, and that's how you that's all about a startup game. Was it difficult to convince people in Kerala about this concept? Wonderful. Who's asked this? Menu, if I'm right. It was very difficult in the beginning. Like I said, we started in Trivandrum, and Trivandrum was not ready to accept in the beginning at all. So it was difficult because the Sahodri services, what we are talking about, we already have this in Kerala as people, people coming home and supporting a new mother during post pregnancy, post delivery. But to convince them that you need more than that. We provide breastfeeding support. We help women with postnatal depression. We help them with how to deal with aches and pains, how to take care of C-section, how to take care of perineum care. There's so much more that we offer when we say postnatal support. And in the beginning, it was like, oh, vannu kulippichu povunundallo. I mean, all that Vedakuli and all is happening. But postnatal care is not just about Vedakuli, there's much more to it. So it was difficult in the beginning, but today when I get a call and inquiry in Trivandrum, they ask for trained people, and that has been such a major change that has happened over the years, that people need skilled person to go and take care of mother and baby. I think that's the best thing that has happened to us. So yes, in the beginning it was difficult in Trivandrum to convince. Yes, no doubt about it. As an entrepreneur, do you think having skill is one among important factors in bringing up a startup company, Kavya Jo? Yes, definitely skill is one of the important factors, but skill is not the only factor, I would say, when for an entrepreneur. I believe in three P's if you have to be successful: patience, perseverance, and persistence. Now, if you don't have these three, it's very, very difficult to be a successful entrepreneur. Skill is definitely important, but skill is not the only thing to bringing up a startup company, for sure. Razik, you said somebody wanted to ask a question. Hello, Razik,
Can
are
you
you
hear me?
there? Yeah, Razik, I can hear you.
Yeah, we are almost reached the time. I mean, so
Okay,
we'll wind up.
yeah,
So Shalini will be winding it
yeah.
up.
Ganga,
Yes,
Right.
yes, Shalvi.
It seems, everybody is having a net problem, or I do not know, because I think they have actively posted all the questions in the Q&A, and you
Yes,
have
yes,
religiously went through all the questions and answered it.
yes.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience and patiently answering everything. And of course, sharing the three P's, and also you telling them how to innovate and what the customer really need. They have to focus on that part as
Yes.
well. And the one very important thing I thought you said was the attend all the possible talks and events related to the business. Yes, that is
So
exactly what
important.
yeah, so important. Thank you so much for sharing those with them. And irrespective of what irrespective of everything, you should have the confidence to pursue the dreams. That's what the you have been telling all through your experience sharing, that
Yes.
the doors will be open as and when we step up. So I know it is very difficult for the women in Kerala, especially the in this it is very different from other parts of the state. So basically, it is how you respond to every situation, and your attitude towards success determines uh, the step towards entrepreneurship.
Yes, Shalini, I would just like to add a point. Like you said, it's difficult
Mhm.
for women in Kerala, but women in general
Mhm.
face uh, problems on the, like, that's why I said on the personal front, every woman has a problem when she steps out to become an entrepreneur.
Mm.
But like I have been maintaining from the beginning, if you decide and seek help, everybody can do it. I
Mm.
mean, it should not stop a woman once she decides and she has a choice. And especially in Kerala, believe me, Shalini, Kerala women have more support than any other state if they want to venture out into entrepreneurship. The kind of ecosystem you have in Kerala is amazing. So even if you're at home and trying to do something, still technology is helping women to become an entrepreneur. So it is whether you want to do it, it's the confidence in you and the decision you have to make whether you want to be an entrepreneur. If you decide, there's no stopping. I mean, there are avenues to do it.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you so much, Ganga. Thank you for your time, and thank you for sharing your experience.
thank you so much, all of you who attended the session today, and lovely questions. And I hope I have been able to answer most of them to your satisfaction. Thank you, and go ahead and innovate and become an entrepreneur. That's what I would like to say.
Okay, thank you so much, Ganga. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone.
Thanks, Shalini. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.